Welcome to Undiet Your Coaching Podcast. I'm Stephanie Dodier, clinical nutritionist and creator of the Going to Beyond the Food method, and I'm on a mission to help all coaches undiet their life and their coaching business. Ready? Let's do this. Welcome back, my dear colleague. I am so excited to be recording the following 3 episodes and sharing this information with you. We're going to be talking about money in this episode today and the next 2 episodes as well. And it's something that came through to me, this information I'm going to be sharing with you through personal work that I have been doing on my own belief system and my own mindset around money, around business coaching and business building. And through the work that I've been doing through myself, I came up with these amazing coaching concepts that I am going to be sharing with you. So today we're going to talk about the concept of having money versus creating or making money in our business. And that came to me as I was working on my own mindset and the last 3 years of me coaching other coaches and professional in the art of building a business, in entrepreneurship. And as I was working through my own stuff, I realized that one of the block that I have observed, but I couldn't put a name on it, was the mindset of having money versus creating and making money. And both are not the same. And this is something, I'm going to go back in time. This is something that I had to go through. I had to shift my belief system around money 10 years ago. Actually, it happened 8 years ago when I entered my first mastermind. So let's go back. 10 years ago, I left the corporate world after 15 years in sales and business coaching. In the corporate world, I worked for Hudson's Bay Company, a retailer in Canada. And I left the corporate world and I went into building a business. At that time, my first business was a nutrition clinic in a building locally in Toronto, Canada. And it was really tough. It was really tough because I had part of the skill sets of building businesses from my 15 years in the corporate world, but it was with the structural environment of a corporation. And it was drastically different as an entrepreneur building something from nothing. I was used to operating businesses with massive structure. I mean, I had 6,000 employees, like just to put it in perspective, with massive teams in each department. And now I was building a business and a nutrition clinic with nobody but me. It's like I had so much relearning to do. And it was hard. I was struggling. I was not making a lot of money. And I hired a coach. And that was my first mastermind. So I entered the mastermind of someone who, unbeknown to me, I did not know anything else, was teaching bro marketing. There was no such thing 8 years ago as bro marketing and ethical marketing. It was just marketing. That's all it was. And so I thought I was learning marketing, and I just unveiled that it was a man. He was going to teach me how to market and sell and grow my business. And part of his curriculum was money mindset. So when I look back, this is when I shedded the identity of having money and earning money from a job to creating and making money. And it's vastly different. When you are an entrepreneur, all of you are an entrepreneur, when you create your own offer, your own services. You're not, for the professional listening to this, if you are under insurance, that is like an employee, right? People come to you without you having to sell them because it's paid by insurance. It's vastly different than being in private practice or having your own business, right? Online or face-to-face is irrelevant. So when you move from earning money and having money to making and creating money, there is beliefs and thoughts that needs to shift in order for you to be successful in creating and making money. Now I'm going to pause here for a minute for all of you listening, right? You're not all my students, so you don't have all the tools that I teach to my students. So I'm going to quickly teach you some basic foundation of coaching, which is how we create result in our life. We create money, result, clients, sales in our life through taking action, right? We go out and sell our offer, do a Facebook Live, go to a networking event, and talk about our services and how we can help people. We go out into the world and share our offer and do some posts on social media. These are action that we take. These action that we take are produced by our feelings, our emotion. The quality of our action is a direct correlation to the emotions you are feeling in the moment you are taking action. So when you feel confident, if you have and you possess the ability to create confidence in selling and marketing and creating money, you will go out and do a Facebook post, a Facebook Live, go to a networking event, and you're going to carry yourself in a confident way. You're going to land your belief in yourself in the future client in front of you. The feeling, the emotion you are feeling produce the type and the quality of action you're taking. So the next question to ask ourselves is, where does our feeling and our emotion comes from, right? What we feel in our body is created by something, right? It's created by the way we think, by our thoughts, by our mindsets. The narrative, the internal narrative we have in our brain creates the way we feel, and the way we feel creates a response into the world, right? It could be as basic as being in front of the stove, right? And doing the cooking and not thinking, don't put my hand, the old coil stovetop oven. I don't know how old you are, but maybe that's not even in your zone of awareness. But for those of you who are old enough to remember, these things were hot. And you have to be consciously thinking, I'm not going to put my finger on the coil because I don't want to burn myself. I don't want to cause myself pain. But when you were unconscious, when you weren't thinking that and you were busy doing something else, there may have been a moment where you put your finger on the stovetop, and what happened? Right away, your body felt the pain. It's like, oh, pain. Remove finger from the stovetop. There was an action that was produced by this deep, terrible fear of burning yourself, of creating pain, right? These reactions that we have from our emotion are very visceral. And in the case of sales and marketing, they may not be as life or death, but they create a untouchable feeling that people experience us with. So if I go out to network marketing and I think, oh, I'm not so good of a coach, I don't know, my program, is it going to work? I don't know, what are people going to think? And these are the narrative that runs in your mind. That's your mindset going into the networking event. You're going to feel doubt. You're going to feel perhaps desperation. I need to make money. I don't know if I'm going to make money. Oh, I really need to make money. I have bills to pay, right? And that's going to create desperation or doubt in your body. And when you're going to extend your hand, like to shake hands with all the people in the network marketing, perhaps you're going to have a weak hand. Perhaps you're not going to look at people, you're going to look at the floor. The action that comes out of our emotion is very, in some cases, subtle. But when we come to the world of entrepreneurship, selling, and marketing, the subtlety, that very untangible way that people experience you, is what creates the sales. And the sales and your ability to sell is what creates money. Now I'm going to wrap this all around. When you are in a position where you work for someone else, when you are an employee, like I was in the corporate world, or you are a wealthy person, I don't know, perhaps you inherited money, you have money in a bank account, or you know you have a paycheck, you're under contract with a company, and you know you have a paycheck coming in every week of $10,000 every month. That's what you earn every month in your job. The thoughts you have around money are going to be vastly different than an entrepreneur. It will be easier for you when you know there's a paycheck coming in, or you know you're sitting on $100,000 on the bank account. It's going to be a lot easier for you to feel confidence around money, to feel resilient, to feel courage, than when you've known and you have to create the money. The way you think about money when you have money, when you are earning regular income, and the way you need to think about money in entrepreneurship is vastly different. Why? Because you need a different set of emotion. Now, this is the key part of the podcast, okay? If you're taking notes, like blank page here, okay? There is 5 key emotions that I have experienced and that I coach my student in order for them to be creating and making money as an entrepreneur. These are the following: courage. You're going to need a shit ton of courage as an entrepreneur because you're going to have to take risk almost every day. And risk can be traumatizing. It can be inhibiting your nervous system because you're not fueling the action of risk taking with courage, but instead with fear. You see the difference here? Remember to my explanation of how mindset creates your result in your life. If you are taking action from, oh my God, I have to go live on Facebook. What are people going to think of me? People are going to judge me. My family, what are going to tell of me? And then you go live on Facebook in a fear-based state. The outcome, the result of that Facebook Live will be vastly different than if you launch your Facebook Live from an emotion of courage. I got this. I can do this. No matter what happened, I'm going to have my back. Courage is an essential emotion to creating and making money versus earning money. When you earn money, you don't need courage as much because the paycheck is coming in. The second emotion is confidence. I've been talking about confidence since the beginning of the podcast, but your ability to create confidence when you take action towards selling, marketing, and creating and making money is essential, specifically as coaches. One of the fundamental role of a coach is to hold the space of belief for their future or current client. We have to have a lot of confidence in order to lend some of our confidence to people who are paying us and are not feeling confident, right? That it is around food. Let's imagine you're coaching on food or eating, and you are in front of a client who's been dieting their entire life and controlling food. And all of a sudden you say to them, we gotta let go of the control. But I don't feel confident about it. I don't know what's gonna happen. Do you think that client in front of you is gonna sign with you? Hell no, they won't. They won't hire you because you're not even confident yourself that it's gonna work. You have to be confident in the methodology, the framework you are using to such degree that you are having so much of it that you can open it up and share it with your future client. That confidence is what's going to create money. If you're looking at consultation, I'm just going to go there because the way that I teach consultation is vastly different from pro marketing. The way that I was taught consultation 8 years ago was with the script, was with like 14 question and fear-based tactic. You've got 2 hours at the end of the consultation to take up my offer. Otherwise the price is going to go up. It was terrible. It made me feel like shit. I couldn't do it because it went against my value. When we go into a consultation in the way that I'm teaching it, in a way that it's aligned with our personal value, the confidence we have into the consultation is what's going to help your clients say yes, because they feel your safety and your security in the consultation and they want to borrow it. You believe in your shit so much that they're saying, oh my God, like I could ride her coattail. It's going to work. So in order for you to make money, you need to feel confidence. How do you create confidence? Because it's your responsibility. I'm going to be very direct here. In order for you to make money, to create money out of nothing as an entrepreneur, you need to take 100% responsibility for your emotions. As long as you hold anything outside of you responsible for the way you feel, you're giving away your power to be successful. Just saying. You have to take 100% responsibility for your emotion. Now beat yourself around this. Blaming and taking responsibility is not the same thing. That's for another podcast. You have to take responsibility and say, I need to feel confident in order to create money. I then have to think, blah, 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 to feel confident. This is what I mean by taking responsibility. You got to have the mindset. You got to fuel your mind with the thoughts. You got to change your beliefs in order to have the unconscious thoughts that is going to produce confidence. Third emotion, resilience. You are responsible for you creating resilience. Now, this has a lot to do with your ability to regulate your nervous system. Resilience is going to be your capacity to fail. That's another podcast on my feed. Scroll up when you finish this episode. There is a podcast called Failure Capacity. That's the emotion of resilience, because it's not going to work. I'm telling you right now, an entrepreneur has to be able to fail. 8 offer out of 10 are not going to get you the result that you want. You're going to have to okay, that didn't work. What are my learnings? Okay, let's go out there and put out another offer right away. That's what an entrepreneurship and selling and marketing is. So resilience, you have to think the thought that are going to make you be resilient, feel resilience. And the thoughts associated with resilience is the one that I shared in the podcast of Failure Capacity. You have to detach your personal worth from the results, or result neutrality. That's going to be a podcast upcoming in weeks to come. The fourth emotion, determination. You have to be determined. Like you cannot give your power away to things outside of you. That comes back to taking responsibility. You just have to commit to making this work. I recently was coaching someone and I said to the student, to her, you have to take quitting off the table. And that's going to come into the fifth emotion, commitment. In order for you to make money, you have to be in a state of commitment. You have to be in a state of determination. And in my experience, in my personal experience being in business for 25 years now and coaching many of you for the last 3 years, one of the biggest hurdle is the possibility of quitting. When the possibility of quitting is on the table for you, you think, you have thoughts on the daily, oh, if that doesn't work, I'll just go back to my old job. Oh, I'm giving myself a year. It has to work in a year. And if it doesn't work in a year, then I'll just change business and coach something different, or again, go back to my job, or just live off of the money I have in my accounts, right? If you have these thoughts on the daily, then the emotion of determination, of commitment will not be in your body. And when a hurdle comes in, a failure comes in, an obstacle comes in, your brain, not you as a person, but your brain is wired to look at the safest response. And the safest response is just quit. Just get out of this entrepreneurship journey and go back to what you were doing before. So let me recap. The top 5 emotion that you will need to make money versus earning and having money is courage, confidence, resilience, determination, and commitment. So your job is to fuel your brain, is to think thoughts, is to create a mindset that will generate these emotions in your body as you take action in your business. Now, I'm going to talk briefly on this notion because typically at this point, this is the feedback that I get from people. Well, Stephanie, that's nice and that makes total sense, but how can I create confidence about making money in my business when I've never made any money in my business? Let's say you're a brand new coach or you're transitioning to this new business and you have literally had 0 client and made $0 in this business. It's true that it's going to be hard for you to feel confidence because you have no evidence that it's possible for you. Here's your job. We call that thought laddering in the mindset world, in the way that I'm teaching mindsets. For those that are aware of what I'm about to talk about here, it's about determining the thoughts you're going to think to make you feel confident and to ladder them. So here's an example of that. If you're brand new in business, your thought could be, I did that. I'm going to give you the example. I did that with one of my students, maybe, because by the way, for those listening on the podcast, I am on a live Facebook Live inside of our coaching Facebook group, our mastermind. And as I'm recording the podcast over here, I'm teaching to them live in the Facebook group so I can give them this information right away. And one of my masterminder is a person in a fat body like me, and she came to me with a lot of belief that fat people could not be earning good money. She had an objective in her mind of how much money she wanted to make, and the belief was, and she learned that belief from society, right? Fat people are not smart. Fat people are not capable of making money. They're not worthy of making money. I know that because I had to overcome those beliefs. I had to change these beliefs. And one of the ways that I helped myself change these beliefs is I hired a coach who was fat. And she was making more money than me. And that was my evidence that it's possible for me as a fat woman to make money, make good money, the amount of money I wanted to make. She hired me. So I'm her evidence. I'm holding the space for her that it's possible as a fat person to make good money. But we had to start at the bottom. The bottom for her was it's possible for other fat women to make X amount of money. She had to ladder her mindset and build evidence that it was possible for other people. So one of her assignments was to go out in the world and find 5, 6 examples of fat women making X amount of money. She proved to her brain, that's how we build belief. That's how we change our mindset. She proved to her brain that it was possible for other women. Then we laddered to the next step. It's possible for me as a fat woman to make X amount of money. And then she is currently right now gathering evidence. I think it's already done by the results she's getting that it's possible for her. The next ladder up is I am a fat woman who makes X amount of money. Building confidence is your responsibility. I know some of you are receiving my words and you may feel attacked. You may feel it's not true, right? It's my client's responsibility to say yes to me so I can build my confidence. That's where your brain is going. Have a lot of compassion and love for you. Hold space for you having that thought. But know that if you carry on thinking the thought that it's other people's responsibility to help you create confidence, it's going to take a lot of time and perhaps you will not get there because you're giving away your power to other people in the circumstance of making money. You have to take it back to what you can control, which is your thoughts and your belief in order for you to create the confidence. So your role is to think your thought, ladder your thought, progressively go every day and find evidence of what you're thinking that it's possible for it to be true, and then take action. You will not build the emotion of confidence or any emotion without going out there and taking risk and taking action. Just a fact. The magical ingredient when you go out there and take action towards creating the confidence so you can have the mindset of someone who's making money is the commitment and the resilience. When you take the action of going out and doing a Facebook Live, of selling your offer, and nobody builds or nobody books a consultation, you have to be committed and determined to try again the next day. If you stop in that moment and say, well, it didn't work, it's never going to work. You have to have the thought, I am committed to make this work. I had a great thought. I'm going to flip my book here. One of my thoughts that I have been having forever is I keep working until I figure it out. And I've had this thought, this belief, way back in the corporate world. Yes, there's a lot of things in the corporate world that I had to change when I came into the world of entrepreneurship, but one of it is I fucking keep trying until I figure it out. Commitment and determination has been with me for years. I want to say decades. So that's one of the benefits that I brought over from the corporate world is determination and commitment. When I sign up to do something, I'm figuring it out. I know that I'm smart enough to figure it out. I'm just going to keep trying stuff until I figure it out. And I do. I do figure it out. I take quitting off the table when I commit to something. I don't commit to a lot of things. But when I commit to something like building an online business, this business here, the one that I'm talking to you about, I'm committed and I'm determined and I'm not going to stop until I get the result that I want. And then when I get the result that I want, I'm going to sit with myself and say, is that it? Is that the level we want to be at? Is that the number of people we want to have? Do we want to go into another field? Do we want to do something else? Do we want to continue to expand, to grow? Yes or no? I authorize myself or I don't. I'm like, you know what? No, I'm good here. Or yes, I want to start. 3 years ago, I made the commitment of growing my business to help other professionals. I wanted to help 1 million women, and I realized very quickly I couldn't do it on my own. And I had so many other professionals asking me, I'm like, do I want to commit to growing this third business? And the answer was yes. Then I'm fucking not stopping until I get the result that I want. That's the commitment and determination. And commitment and determination of taking action and failing and standing back up and keep trying until I figure out the way that I can help more people is the magic ingredient to building the confidence. When I say taking quitting off the table, it's a consensual decision that I'm making with myself. I am not forcing myself to take quitting off the table. That's very important. I did that before, and that was a massive failure because what happened when we quote unquote force ourselves to do things, if you know anything about your nervous system, you go and freeze because you're pushing your nervous system beyond what it thinks and has the capacity of doing. But when you consensually, from you to you, make a decision and then you commit to having your own back, then you can start expanding your capacity in your nervous system. That's why when we start building a business, it's not the same type of business coaching as somebody who's already running a business that makes a lot more money, because you have to build the capacity at first to randomly go live on Facebook and talk about your offer. And that you have to expand the capacity of your central nervous system to do that. The thoughts have to come in, the judgment has to come in, you have to face it with a loving and compassionate way and build capacity. And the more capacity you build, the bigger risk you can take, the more action you can take, and the more money you can make. That's why bro marketing, have to forcing yourself, doesn't work for us. And I will debate that it doesn't work for most people, but we'll leave that on the table. But for us, it doesn't work because we teach and coach something completely different on the other side to our clients, right? If you're coaching your clients through habituation to intuitive eating, you are coaching them to build safety in the nervous system, to have chips in the house, and to like take a step and meet yourself with compassion and loving. And then in your business, you're doing something completely different. That's what creates misalignment and gets many of you in a freeze state. Like you froze, you spiral out of control. I hear that a lot, right? I spiral down because you're approaching building your business from a completely different mindset of how you're coaching your clients. So, having money, as you can tell, can you feel the energy I have for this? So this is why having money, if you work in someone who has money, who has spent their life earning money, when you come to the world of entrepreneurship, you need to shift your belief system. You need to change your internal narrative, your mindset on the daily to become someone who creates and make money. And I've just taught you how to do that on the podcast and the 5 key emotions in order for you to become someone who can make money. So we're going to end this podcast here. I think already this is a lot for many of you that are just new to the world of coaching and mindset work and money mindsets. And then I'm going to come back to you with the next episode, which is titled Even When Mindset versus As Long as Mindset. These are 2 different mindsets that will allow you to make your desired amount of money you want to make in your business or not. But first, we need to shift from I have money or I'm earning money to I'm making and creating money. Once we're there, then I'm going to teach you in the next episode the next mindset shift that needs to come in play in order for you to create the amount of money that you want. I love you, and I'll see you on the next podcast. Ready to shed diet culture from your practice and help more clients do the same? Awesome. We've got 3 resources to get you started. Simply go to stephaniedodier.com/pro series, all in one word, and access our 3 free training classes that are currently available. We also have a free PDF guide to intuitive eating, an article about the non-diet approach. We also offer a variety of paid programs throughout the year to support you in your journey to undiet your coaching practice. Join us at stephaniedodier.com/pro series, and I'll see you on the other side.